Hi, welcome to the show. Welcome, crime listeners. Today we've got a great one for you to tune into. This is one of the first vampires, and I know how you love Vampire Diaries and Interview with the Vampire. Yes, but this one will make your skin crawl. Oh, this is Hungarian Countess Elizabeth Bathory, and she was born in 1560 in Hungary. And she is even called the most prolific female murderer in the Guinness Book of World Records. Oh my gosh. this this countess was she was ruthless. It was rumored and that as many as 600 young servant girls were tortured and murdered, and she loved young girls to keep her skin looking fresh and youthful because she wanted to bathe in their blood. But so let's learn about Miss Elizabeth Bathory. Maybe because her last name has Bath, she wants to bathe in things. Okay, Elizabeth was born in Transylvania in 1560, and she was born to a very distinguished family that include kings and cardinals, knights, and judges. But as I told you, the more that we research, it doesn't matter if you're on a TV show, the president of a church group, the leader of Boy Scouts, kings and queens. Here is the most ruthless female, and she was a countess, and her family included kings, cardinals, knights, and judges. And one of her uncles would teach her and instruct her in Satanism. What is Satanism? Oh, shudder, shudder. And her aunt taught her about sadomasochism. What kind of people are these people? So at the young age of 15, Miss Elizabeth was married to Count Nadaddy, and they would then move into the beautiful castle, the Sitter's Castle. It's Csejethe. So the Siege's Castle would become a place of horrors and grossly gruesome murders. So her husband built a torture chamber to her specifications. She had her own personal torture chamber, and her husband was so pleasing. Is this castles and dungeons? Is this whips and chains and medieval torture devices? Oh, would not like to be around this castle. So she would instruct him to put jamming pins and needles under the fingernails of her female servant girls. Then they would be tied down and they would be smeared with honey, and then they would be left to be attacked by bees and ants. Oh, this lady is cruel, making Cruella de Vil looking like a sweet, nice lady. And the Count even participated in his beloved wife's cruelties. And they said that he could have also restrained some of her impulses. He died early in 1600, and then apparently after he died, she became extremely worse. Then her lovely nurse, Alana Joe, and local witch, Dorsora Sanchez, they would start abducting peasant girls to torture and kill. Wow, 3 women, a nurse, a witch doctor, and the countess would lure peasant girls to the castle. It was reported that she would bite chunks of flesh from her victims, and one girl was even forced to cook and eat her own flesh. Oh, this is cruelty of a cruelty that we've never heard before. And the Countess Elizabeth, she believed that the human blood, if she bathed in it, would keep her young and beautiful and healthy. Well, they probably didn't have Botox back then or plastic surgeons, but this is just not how you stay young. So more and more girls were disappearing, and there's rumors all around Elizabeth's crimes, but because she's related to like heavy duty people, and her family headed the local government. Of course, the crimes were probably ignored because most of the people were poor, and who cared about the peasants, right? It's all about the royalty, and they've got the guards to protect them. But finally, she started getting some of the royal nobles. And when she started poaching the royal daughters of local nobles, King Matthias intervened because she had started getting the nobles' daughters. So that, once they got like important people, then things started to change. Unfortunately, they had to wait till some local nobles' daughters were victims. And that's when the pressure was on. So the Hungarian king sent Gorgi Thoros to investigate what was going on over there. So from 1601 to 1611, the investigator Gorgi would bring his investigators, and he would collect testimony from nearly 300 witnesses. He had testimony from 300 witnesses. Wow. So Elizabeth was accused of luring young peasant girls, most of only 10 to 14 years old, to her castle near the Carpathian Mountains, and she would lure them by saying she would give them employment as servants. And of course, we have to work. We have to go to work. So you go to the castle thinking you're going to work and get paid, but no, you'd be tortured and hurt, and your blood would be used for her beauty bath. The young servants were tortured and burned and beaten and even murdered. And they said that they would drain her victim so she can bathe in it, believing that her skin would stay soft and supple. And also, some have rumored, and big rumors, that she also engaged in cannibalism. Oh, this is a twisted fairy tale that's just gruesomely, demented in the wrong ways. So the investigator Gheorghe went to Kachitsi's castle, and he found a dead victim on the premise, and he found victims imprisoned and dying. So he was able to arrest Countess Elizabeth Bathory, and but because of her social standing and family's importance of being related to kings and knights and high government officials of outstanding wealth, a trial would have caused a major scandal. Hello, how many people did they say? Did they say 300? Did they say 600? 600 young servants. 600, probably even more. But to say 600, that's a lot of people. So her family, her important, wealthy family of high importance, kings and queens and knights, convinced the investigator, Gorio, probably with some dollar bills or doublins or coins, to let Countess Elizabeth live under house arrest in her nice big giant castle. She's not going to go out if she just lives in house arrest, and we'll tell everyone not to go into the castle. So they walled her into a room, and she was confined to this room of the castle, and it was reported it had slits for air and food. So she was confined to a room, so kind of like a prison in her house, and had little holes, little slits for air and food. And she was in this solitary confinement, and they said she lived this way for about 4 years until 1614, and then she was buried in a local churchyard. Oh no, local villagers, after they found out what they did to their girls, protested, and so her body was moved to the Bathory family estate where she was born. Why don't you have your vampire-sucking, killing daughter and bury her in your estate, and you keep your people to yourself, and don't kill any more of our peasants? Wow, this woman was twisted and wicked, and she had a staff of a witch and nurse and husband, and just was given carte blanche because of her clout to just go ahead and get over 600 girls. What do you think? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Are you waiting to see this as a movie or a little mini-series? Well, let us know if you'd like this to be a mini-series or a movie, and would you watch it? Thanks for listening, and tune in. We were going to have a special little mini-series called Identity Theft that's being written by a big Hollywood writer, and we're excited to bring that to you. In the meantime, we're going to go over some of the most famous killers in history. And thanks for listening. Give us a 5-star, give us a like, and do use some of our support us by the links below. We have cheerful, happy books for you to read after listening to true crime. Okay, have a great day and be safe out there.